applications for the Northeast region, which means he'll be working with all of you as we move forward, sets up our presentation. I've not been to New York before, so and the weather is not much different than it is in Chicago, where I am headquartered at NAR, but really beautiful here and looking for the chance to come back in the future. As was mentioned, I have been working with NAR since September of 2008, and I was president of the Michigan Association of Realtors during that year, and was offered the position by Dale Stinton to be the realtor who helped direct this project as we move forward. So my purpose for being here and now involved running operations for the new Realtor Property Resource Corporation is that NAR's vision for this was to have this project directed and run and visioned by realtors so that when we launched it, it had real application on the street and made a difference with how we work with our clients and customers. So I'm going to switch to this microphone. And go through a presentation for you. Now the star today, I want to be the demonstration which Mona Steen and Ron are going to run through for you and show you what we've been building and looking to launch for realtors later this year. But I do think it's important to show you some of our process and the way we're looking at delivering value to NAR members. What is the RPR? The vision for this was that it would be a national parcel-centric database. Now what does that mean? It means, well, the MLS and current listing and off-market data is tremendously important. It's not contingent upon what sort of information you see. So a listing is really a snapshot in the life of a property. What we want to do is give you the history for it. We want to tie every piece of data that we can aggregate to a property so that you can get histories on it, use it for valuations, and you'll see some of the data sets we put together. This is a member benefit for NAR members only. No non-realtor access other than through your MLS. There'll be an application side that your MLS members will be able to see, and no public access at all. The way the public benefits from this is to work through realtors who have access to this resource. And it is, and you'll see it is completely owned and controlled by NAR and its members. Our goal is, as I mentioned, to provide all the information that we can find: public records, liens, permits, surveys, photo history, school district information. It's got a very unique set of data content and analytics. You'll see the search features which will be highlighted, which are tremendous. Its goal is also to eliminate costs for NAR members. The company that I owned along with my partners until 2006 was an independent company. We had 9 offices. We sold that to a Coldwell Banker franchise and became part of a 40-office company. Well, that brokerage had taken their own budget and technical people and aggregated a county-by-county public record mailing list, basically. Well, as the company grew, we didn't have equal service through all areas. We had some counties that couldn't give us any records at all. So office to office and agent to agent within the company, we weren't able to provide the same set of information or tools. With the RPR in my area, we'd be able to have that same resource for all of our realtors, and some ways for managers across county lines to be able to work and compare market to market that we didn't have before. As I said, the project itself has been managed and envisioned by realtors, and this is the advisory board. It was a committee, more or less, under NAR from 2008 until 2009 in November when we incorporated. This advisory board, even though we're now incorporated, still works with the RPR, I'd say on a week-to-week basis, and we have quarterly meetings where they review our business plan, offer advice, and it's made up of brokers, small and large, state and local association executives, commercial practitioners, and MLS executives from around the country. As I mentioned, we started our corporation on November 6th this last year, hopped on a plane and all went to San Diego to talk about what it was that we were looking to do. And this board of directors is actually the corporate board. The CEO is Dale Stinton, who's the CEO of NAR. And you can see made up of brokers, association, exec, commercial, We've really tried to take in expertise from all industry sectors. And then this is the senior management team, and two of us are here today. This is who owns the NAR, and I get this question. It is not a publicly traded company. There are no stockholders other than the members of NAR, and that's a membership stockholder position. There's no partnership with third-party vendors where we have 10 and 20% ownership of people that sell technologies to us. And there's no joint venture project where we have asked for funds in order to get the initial application going. This is 100% owned by NAR members, and any and all returns on NAR's investment, which is exactly how this is being funded, is an investment out of the Second Century Initiatives, which I think was a $65 million total funding for as many as 9 to 12 different initiatives, is where the funding comes from. What we have put together a business model that creates a revenue, which helps to support the cost of this, helps to bring it to members for free, and also helps to build expansion and applications so that we can continue to make this more robust as technology continues to change with us. Now, one of the things that we're working on right now and will launch in about 4 weeks is a user advisory council. And I would invite members in this room to, and I'll drop down to the bottom, to email in to info@narrpr.com. And what we're doing is, this will be a standing permanent committee of users from around the country that in the beginning will beta test the application for the first couple of months until we start to launch this in markets around the country. And then after that, they'll remain, and every time that we have a potential new technology or data sets or application, we're going to vet this through this user council so that realtors will again be guiding the build out of this system for realtors as we move forward. Another thing that we're offering, and I'll let Mona and Ron talk about this, is an API, which is an application programming interface. I feel I have a very average technical level for a realtor. I was a broker. I'm still doing my open houses every Saturday before I moved on. And what I thought of this was as a data feed. Tell me it's somehow the data comes in and works within my system so I can get information that I need. What this is a public record data feed, which is available to MLSs. It's not part of initially obligating or contracting with the RPR. It's something we're offering ahead of time that would help give you localized public record data for your market. And this is something available, as I said, in February, and you can contact Mona or Ron about how that works for your MLS. Now, what we did in going through this process was we started working with an application and beta tested it last year, and it was a wonderful front end, but it didn't have data sets with it. So we started an examination of where are we going to get the data, with the first thing being, how do we do an initial broad brushstroke of national public record and tax assessment data, and then what other sets can we get with it? So we went through an examination of working with what was done, the Cyber Homes application, and then made a purchase of license agreements and certain data sets and technologies from LPS Real Estate Group last November, which is what formed our corporation. This list is what we purchased or licensed in terms of data sets over and above tax and public record assessment, which right now covers 92% of the counties in the country. And we're working already on a 2-year expansion to cover 100% of the U.S. counties. So this is what is within the RPR application, pre-having MLS inclusion, which of course would enhance it by adding your off-market and your active data to the system. Now, what we've been working on most recently is each industry sector. Here's this great database. You go in and you use it, you get information about your properties, you do valuations, you have these search features, you work with clients. But what actually is in there for each industry segment? How does this help brokers? How does this help agents, other than to say, go in, dial in, and play around and pull the stuff out that you need? So what we're doing is working on specific, what we're calling toolkits for industry sectors. And I'm going to just show you some overviews here of 2 of them. And the first 2 being brokers and agents. For broker tools,